Hey guys, it's Michael, and today I'm here to do my January wrap-up. In January, I actually read some great, amazing books, which I'm really excited about. It's just really a great way to start off the year with reading great books, because I'm just, you're just amped up and just ready to go. One of the books that I read, I just finished it like a few days ago, and so it's February, but I'm gonna still count it as January. So yeah, let's get started. The first book that I read in January was The Martian by Andy Weir. This is a science fiction book. It's about Mark, who is a astronaut. He specializes in botany, and he's an engineer who gets stranded in a mission to Mars. And so basically it's his logs and how he's trying to escape, essentially. This book actually took me by surprise. I heard so much about it, and the hype was really high on this one, and so I went into it kind of weary. And it lived up to the hype, actually. The voice of Mark is really interesting because he is he's a nerd. He's a complete scientist, and he knows how to take care of the situation. Yeah, I enjoyed it, really. The downside is, though, I did some part, I have a science background, and I love science, so don't get me wrong. But sometimes I felt like it was just too much, especially when he starts calculating math. I thought that was just a little, it was a little, I was just like, okay, come on, we can get it going. I didn't need to know all of that detail. It's a really good read, so I recommend it. The next book that I read was The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyne. This book is about a kid named Bruno who has to move from the city to the country during World War II. I don't know why. This book is really interesting because it's usually it's in a perspective that you don't see a lot of World War II or war novels in general, because he is really naive. Because I mean, he is a kid. He's literally like 8 years old. No, okay, so he's 9. He's 9 years old, so he doesn't know all of the things that's going on. The ending is so sad. It is so sad. It's just awful, and the movie's really good too, so I recommend that. But yeah, the book, it broke my heart at the end. I gave The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, I gave this, I think, 4 stars out of 5. It was really good. Alright, the reason why I'm going through those books really fast is because 2 of the books that I read this last month, I need to talk about it in a lot more details because I enjoyed it so much. And one of those books was Atonement by Ian McEwan. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Oh my god. Oh! I love this book so much. Okay, so this book is about Bryony, this takes place before World War II. Before, during, and after. It's separated into 3 parts. So the first part, something happens. The second part and the third part. I'm gonna try to be as vague as I can because I don't want it to be spoiled. I have seen the movie, but it was literally years ago, and I forgot some of the details. And reading this book again reminded me why I love the story so much. So yeah, I'm gonna compare some of the book and the movie together so you can see some of the differences, but they're really close. This is one of those where the adaptation is for the movies actually up here with the book. But of course, the book is better. So yeah, this book tells it's a panoramic point of view type of book. So that means that in the first part, it's basically one single day, but as each chapter gets broken up, you see the different perspective of, so you see Bryony, so you see Cecilia, who is the sister, Robbie, who is the gardener slash friend, and the twins, everybody else's point of view as one thing happens. So what happens is that Bryony, ma'am, sis, Bree, she sees something between Rob and Cecilia, and she basically misinterprets. And this story is all about how one lie, literally one lie, can break everything. How it can shatter not only just that small instance, but how your world could literally change because of this one thing. Now I'm gonna talk about the second part of this. The downside is there is this middle portion. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of tedious. It's where it's where you follow Rob and oh my gosh, the writing is incredible. It is amazing. I actually had to look up words that he used because I was like, I don't know what that is. But his word choice is so profound. I knew I loved the writing. There's this part in here when it was really vulgar. He talks about the C word and he just explains like about the sound and the way it forms on your lips, and oh my god, the writing is really good. But in the middle part, it gets kinda, I wouldn't say boring because I mean I kept reading it. It kinda gets tedious. It's not as interesting as the beginning. The beginning, like, I was like, whoa, what is going on? Holy crap. Bryony's, oh god, she was so infuriating. I was like, oh, stop with your lies. Stop it, girl. Stop with your lies. But then the ending, good god. No spoilers here, but the ending to this. So first off, I don't know if I'm gonna call it a twist, but there's a twist in this book where I was like, where you find out something about the lie, and I was like, ooh! I was like, oh my god! And then at the very end, literally, Ian McEwan pulls the wool over your eyes, and while you're reading all of this, oh my god. Oh, I loved it. I was so into it. That ending was so good. Like, I loved it. Afterwards, I watched the movie. The movie is really good, especially the music. Oh my, well, there's a lot of good things about it. First off, the music is really good. There's this thing with this typewriter, like, they use the typewriter as a instrument. Oh my god, it's awesome! Slick turn. And then the cinematography is really good. I felt, though, the downside of the movie compared to the book, definitely, the twist, when everything gets revealed all the way at the end, I feel like it works better in a book form because of the way that just because the way the twist, the ending is summed up, I just think it works better in a book form, but I loved it. It was really good. 5 stars out of 5, it was amazing. The next book that I read is A Stolen Life by J.C. Duggard. I already did a whole spiel all about this book in my previous video because I explained how hard it is to review this book, blah blah, blase blase. So yeah, I did not know, fun fact, I did not know that Goodreads lets you have, when you finish a book, you can just say no rating. So I didn't know that, and definitely I gave this no rating because at the end of the day I didn't know where it fell under, and I just would have felt super bad if I gave this 2 stars. But it still counted towards my reading challenge, so there's that. Yeah. The next book, and I just finished this a few days ago, and oh my god, it was so good. This is We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shriver? Shriver, yes. Oh my god, this book right here. So, this book is about Eva. Eva. This book is about Eva, who is writing to her husband, Franklin, about their son, Kevin. Now, I'm gonna give you an analogy of how I felt during this, while reading this book. This book is kind of like, this book is like a roller coaster. So you know the beginning is just really slow. It is incredibly slow and you're waiting for that huge moment when you finally drop. Yeah, so this book starts off incredibly slow. I mean, I was like, okay. But there was something about it, and I'll let you know, that I just kept reading. And so this book, towards the last few parts, reached this point where I could not stop reading. And then you know how the roller coaster all of a sudden drops? Yeah, this book's, the roller coaster drops, but there's no rails, so that's how good it was. Oh my god, so This book was so good. So Kevin did something, right? So Kevin did something horrible. Eva, she can't even acknowledge it, so she names it Thursday because it happens on a Thursday. Club going up on a Thursday. I hate that song. She constantly talks about Thursday, and so as the story progresses, you find out little bits and pieces about Thursday, and by the end, you find out what really happened on Thursday. I'm gonna break this down. No spoilers. First off, the voice here, so everything is like in a letter form, which I kind of found annoying at first, but after a while I was like, this isn't that bad. The voice of Eva is so multifaceted. At one point, you can't really trust her because this is her view. Like, there are moments where she's slick, borderline, I wouldn't call it racist, but more like prejudice. Yeah, she says a few things. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But then there was this other side of her when I was like, oh my god, I know who this woman is. Like, I understood this character. So when she did things, I was like, yes! I am a true believer of spanking your kids because I used to be spanked when I was a little kid because I was a bad kid. So the first beginning, I was like, just spank him. And then she did something, I was like, oh. And then she did something else, I was like, okay, that's beyond spanking. And, oh my, let me tell you, when you find out what Thursday is, one side of me was like, oh my god, that's horrible. But the other side of me was like, oh my god, that's kind of cool. Like, the way Thursday unfolded, like, I was like, oh, he just went Hunger Games on that. Like, I was like, oh my god, like, it was just, oh, it was super, super violent, and by that time, I was all into it. And then after that, when she explains what happened on Thursday, when she goes home, let me tell you, it broke my heart. That the ending, the final thing that happens to her, it broke my heart. I was genuinely sad. I was reading this in my car because I literally only had like, I think it happens towards the last 20 pages. Oh my god, it was so sad. No lie. It was so sad. I just could not take, and then the thing is, when Kevin explains why he did what he did, I was flabbergasted because I was so shocked that what he was talking about, I understood it. I understood why he did what he did, and then the funny part is I was doing what he was talking about. I was all into this book, just like he was talking about it. This book was so good. And the writing on here, so Eva is not American, so she's Armenian, which is really cool because I didn't know that about her. But she writes the letters to Franklin in a bougie way, I guess you could say, but really like high class, like uppity. She uses words, not gonna lie, I had to be like A, B, C. Like, I had to pronounce it in my head. I was like, whoa. And again, there were words that I've never heard of, so I had to look it up. It took me a second or two to get used to it, but once I get to like page 75, like around there, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, it was more, I was flying through this book. I was like, oh, okay, got you. Yeah, I highly, highly recommend this book. I was all into it, and I loved it. That ending was like the icing on the cake. I was so impressed because I literally didn't see it coming. I had this weird inkling. I was like, oh, I guess? But then I was like, no, like, so sad, so sad. Yes, I recommend this book. I gave it 5 stars out of 5. I loved it. So those are the books I read in January. I'm really hoping to read a lot more in February. Actually, I'm gonna film my TBR next. So yeah, let me know what you guys read, and if you read any of these books, let me know, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!